Hello and welcome to the stream. Hopefully, yes, you guys can hear me. Mic is on. Let me see here so you guys can see my face. Hello, welcome to the stream. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Man, we've got a lot of news to talk about, a ton of topics in the last, 48 hours since my last video. So here are some of the things we'll be covering today. First off, this morning, so I guess this weekend, President Trump's son, I'm not sure which one, I think it's Eric. I can't really, I can't really tell a difference right now. I don't know his son's I, what's the other one's name? I know it's Eric, and I don't even know the other guy's name. But anyways, one of them is getting married this weekend in New Jersey. So Trump was asked about it yesterday. He said he wasn't going to go. Then this morning, the Air Force One took off, and then to go to the wedding apparently, and then they had to turn it around. So we'll get into that story. We also have got Iran commenting on new threats in terms of the way that they would go about attacking the US and allies once this war resumes. President Putin, there's a lot there with him. He just got done with China a couple days ago, and then I believe Russia and Belarus are holding basically nuclear roll call right now in Belarus. On top of that, Ukraine recently just launched an attack. I'm hearing mixed reports on how many people were killed. Apparently, this was an attack that they did. From one source, I heard that it was 168 college students that they had killed, not military personnel. Public reports are disputing that. Either way, President Putin, I believe, is calling that terrorism as they are going through nuclear exercises with Belarus, with President Lukashenko and his dog, probably. So we'll touch on that. We'll look a little bit at the Candace Hunter interview, some of the excerpts there. Hunter has I've heard him on a couple of podcasts. The one I can remember the most off the top of my head is the Sean Ryan one. Very complete interview, and it was a good interview. So we'll get into that a little bit with Candace. UFO, new batch of videos released. El Nino, there is danger, more rain and more heat across the globe, essentially. So, more shit to look forward to as all this foreign policy stuff and the cost of living continue to take our will to live away. So, Trump posted something about Greenland. And then on a lighter note, we'll finish off with probably some happier stuff. We'll explore Kick and Twitter, and we'll check out a preview of the enhanced games. Then there's a US. So the enhanced games, we'll get into that. That's, I believe, starts this weekend. And then Johnny Manziel, yes, you heard that right. Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel is going to, what? Why am I saying it like that? Johnny Manziel, he's going to step into the octagon and he's going to fight some dude. We're going to take a look at that as well, preview that, and then we'll talk about sports a little bit as well, and kind of just see what's going on with some of these streamers that are on Kick. So let's get started. Thanks for joining me. Hit the like and subscribe button. Support the channel if you can. Uh, okay, so here's the chat. Let me see if I can remove that message so it's not taken up. Okay, if you join, definitely, drop a message to let me know that you're watching live. And then we'll just kind of take it from the top here. Should we start on Twitter or should we start, let's see. Let's start with Truth Social. Oh, my apologies. Typically, I have this screen already set up. Let me see here. So, general stream. All right. Well, we're going to try to look at President Trump's screen here, so bear with me. while I get this window corrected. There we go. And let's bring it down to size. Cool. Okay. So let's take a look at President Trump's Friday Twitter. As we know, he will be in the White House this weekend. So that raises alarms about where this conflict is going with Iran. We've all kind of just been waiting for it to resume. It was supposed to be resumed on Tuesday, according to President Trump's tweet on Monday. But due to, what do we call him? Field Marshal, I forget his last name, the Pakistani general, Field Marshal, he delayed it. So let's go through President Trump's day because there's some exciting stuff here. The first thing I want to go over is, what was this, 4 days ago? If Iran surrenders, admits their navy, he retweeted this today, admits their navy is gone and resting at the bottom of the sea and their air force is no longer with us. Their entire military walks out of Tehran, weapons dropped and hands held high, shouting, "I surrender, I surrender," while wildly waving representative white flag, and if their entire remaining leadership signs all necessary documents of surrender and admit their defeat to the great power and force of the magnificent US of A. The failing New York Times, the China Street Journal, Wall Street Journal, corrupt, and now irrelevant CNN, not all of their members of fake news media will headline that Iran had a masterful and brilliant victory over the United States of America. It wasn't even close. The Democrats and media have totally lost their way. They have gone absolutely crazy. President DJT. So he retruthed that today, this morning. Trump wins gold. I haven't looked at his truth since last night. So, and then he's jumping on Colbert, I guess, because Colbert had his last show. I'm not a huge fan of Colbert, but I don't think the president should be responsible for getting anyone canceled, you know? But I guess it was his horrible ratings. Oh, he's at CBS, right? And CBS is ran by Barry Weiss, who is, I mean, probably a general in Mossad or a sergeant, lieutenant. That's what they make their spies, lieutenant. So she may be. I've heard that from sources. So that she's got a lot of Israeli ties. So I wouldn't be surprised if she cut off Colbert at Trump's request. Trump hating on Tom Tillis. I'm sure he didn't support him on something. Stop playing games. Okay, Colbert's firing from CBS was the beginning of the end. Nasty, highly over, none funny, poorly. Okay, so just like he did with Jimmy Kimmel, right? I wonder if Kimmel responded to any of this. Sorry, I know this is probably not the most interesting topic to dive into. I just want to see if Kimmel said anything. I heard that all the late night shows played a rerun, so people could would instead watch Stephen Colbert's show. So I guess that's kind of a nod or a tip of the cap. So yeah, no, he hasn't posted anything. All right, let's get back to the president. So I didn't even think about covering this story today, but yeah, it happened. So Colbert's show is over. No one really cares. I gave up a lot of money allowing the just announced anti-weaponization fund to go forward. I could have settled my case. Oh, the 10 billion. Okay. All right, so this is what President Trump posted 6 hours ago when I heard that his plane had returned. So while I very much wanted to be with my son Don Jr. and the newest member of the Trump family, soon to be wife Bettina, circumstances pertaining to the government and my love for United States of America do not allow me to. Boom, boom, boom. Circumstances. I feel it is important for me to remain in Washington, D.C. at the White House during this important period of time. Congratulations to Don and Bettina, President Trump. So let's go over to. I believe it was one of the top stories on X. Maybe it wasn't. Let's see. Trump. Earlier, it was the first one that popped up. Trump rushes back to the White House. I want to see the footage of his airplane. All right, so let's watch this first, and then we'll get to top of weekend plans scrap, golf plans. I guess he really was going to go to the wedding, and Bedminster, where is one of his favorite golf club, I think. Um, so top officials cancel holiday plans. U.S. preparing new strikes against CBS from Barry Weiss at CBS. Iran's army ready for enemy foolishness. So this is the motorcade. It's the Beast and Beast 2. So let's see if we can get the footage of Air Force One. I couldn't find the video I saw earlier, but it was just Air Force One flying. So Trump looks healthy. Some people are speculating it was a medical thing. Trump is obviously healthy. He's walking at a good pace. Double thumbs up. I didn't even mention Tulsi. That reporter mentioned Tulsi. Tulsi resigned today. We'll get into that next. At first, when I heard it, I thought maybe it would be something like problems with administration, which it probably is. But it turns out, I guess, her husband is extremely sick and probably going to die soon. So she's choosing to go spend time with him. I don't know how much of everything is true, but prayers to her family and her. So, all right, let's keep going with President Trump. So it's his son, Don Jr., marrying some woman named Bettina. Let's see. Let's see what she looks like. I'm sure everyone wants to know, right? I haven't seen what this woman looks like, so. Oh, not bad. Is she, what country is she from? Is she Russian or Jewish or Israeli? Anderson. Oh, okay. Interesting. Don't trust her with the last name Anderson. I know this one's O-N, but never trust an Anderson. Had to learn that one the hard way. Bettina Anderson. Let's see. Daughter-in-law. Okay. She has a twin sister, Boca Raton. So the Florida people. Socialite. So her dad was the youngest bank president at the age of 26. So her dad is basically part of the deep state, we can assume. So this is one of those deep state arranged marriages. Let's find out if Mr. Harry Lloyd Anderson Jr. Let's find out. His background, right? Not that I'm into conspiracies or anything. Doesn't say. And then he's got a wife too. But bank president, I mean, socialite. So that's Bettina. They're getting married. Let's get back to. Oh, all right. So right after Don Jr., shout out to the Don Jr. getting married. This is the Tulsi letter. So unfortunately, after having done a great job, Tulsi will be leaving the administration June 30th. So she's got another month. Her wonderful husband has been recently diagnosed rare form of bone cancer. Ah, rightfully okay. So, and then Tulsi's letter. Make sure you guys can see it. Oh yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I mean she's sticking to the story, so. All right. Well, so we've had both women in the cabinet step down now. Ken Paxton, 56% over John Cornyn. Trump was speaking a little while ago, so we'll play some clips of him wearing a white USA hat. Then he posted this MAGA, or sorry, this Golden Dome. You could see satellites, missiles, and I guess it's the Golden Dome over the White House. He only wants to protect the White House. And then he would be underground, underneath the ballroom. I'm assuming this is the ballroom right there. Right there, probably. Or something. I mean, it's AI. And then he posted, "Hello, Greenland." That's not good for them. He posted about Kyle Busch passing away yesterday at 41, same age as Kobe. All right, Trump posted his 22 seconds. Did he delete it? Why isn't it going? This app is horrible, the Truth app. Look, it can't even load the video. It's not my internet. Maybe.
Welcome back to our final
Okay.
broadcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, it is my internet. My internet is horrible. All right, folks, there you got it. There's President Trump. I didn't realize my internet is so bad right now, folks. So sorry about that. I wish it was better. It usually is very reliable, so unfortunately not right now.
Like, I'm looking at Jackson. I'd like to know, is there any woman in the audience that thinks they can tackle that guy? Because I'd like to meet you. I'd like to shake your hand.
Jackson Dart, he's talking
I
about.
don't know. Jackson, you think you could play against women okay? Do you think you'd have any problem? I don't think so. But don't get involved, Jackson. Don't get involved, Jackson. Don't answer that question. No, I'm looking at the legs. He's this beautiful guy. He's got legs like tree trunks. This is not a good thing for women. This would not be good.
He's talking about Jackson Dart, who introduced President Trump today at some speech. So CBS News posted Trump administration preparing Friday for fresh round of military strikes. No decision has been reached. That was 1 hour ago. Iran's armed forces have entered the highest state of alert. So, imminent attack sounds like. Proven right. I told you Tulsi Gabbard was resigning today before the rude turn. Blah, blah, blah. This lady is just like so obnoxious. Why would she need apologies? Trump's war cabinet met this morning to weigh new strikes on Iran. Pakistan's field marshal flew to Tehran for last-minute mediation. Qatar in the room too. U.S. official called talks agonizing, with drafts going back and forth all day. No real progress. So it's gonna be resumption. "13 minutes ago, yeah, same thing. You know it's serious if Trump's not going to a wedding and he's not going to golf at his favorite golf club." Tulsi resigned. We heard that about Jackson. I want to see if there's any other. Chinese military. Looks like Russian though.
Introduce the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who first to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea. Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart.
So he returned mid-flight today. That's what Trump's had quite an interesting day. All this while Iran is threatening the war on new fronts, essentially. basically with new weapons and tactics if the U.S. and Israel strikes resume. I assume that they had to start threatening that as well, with knowing that the U.S. Will probably be striking within the next 48 hours, if not within the next like 12 hours probably. So let's take a look at the oil price and see how that's going right now. See if there's any indication there. Pull up some of the economic numbers here. Where are we at? Okay. So Brent crude is up 100 and almost $104. This is the price per barrel that we've been Brent crude. So let's check it over the last week. Can't we zoom in a little? Anyway, it was up to 110 recently. So this is where we were pre-war, 75, and you can see where we're at now. So here are the commodities. Let's check commodities. Yeah. So most of them are up today. Why do we keep getting, what is this? Some sort of game? All right, so Iran's military officials, they warned that they could open new fronts, deploy new weapons if U.S. strikes resume. So let's hear straight from Iran. So Sneeko tweeted, the perfect embodiment of America's ignorance is declaring war off the slogan, Iran can never have nuclear. Okay, Sneeko. All right, airspace has been cleared, says. Where's this? Iran's airspace has been cleared out. So that's all airspace over Iran, apparently. President Trump rushing back. I have a feeling a limited assassination strike by Israel is about to happen in Iran. What is Mario's sources here? So some of the places that where you can see escalation would definitely be the Strait of Hormuz, the Red Sea, Bab El Maneb shipping containers, and the Gulf tanker routes. So those are probably some of the hot spots where we can expect some of this damage to happen. JD Vance, he also said that the U.S. remains locked and loaded. So let's see if we can find that clip. So JD commented on Tulsi's resignation.
Vice President Vance told reporters at the White House on Tuesday that he will not be running for president in 2028. Just months ago, he had said running was a possibility. Vice President.
I'm not saying anything Tucker said. I'm just saying what I said. But I was very clear with him the last time we hung out that I was like, well, I go, and
this
I
is
said this
Dave and
partly
Nick.
because I wanted to kind of see his
Dave
reaction to
Smith
it.
And Nick
but I was like,
Marquez.
well, the JD project is over. And I went, no, there's no way. I mean, come on, none of us can support him now, and it doesn't even matter if you wanted to, because he can't win. It's over. And he didn't bat an eye at it. It didn't seem like it was like a problem for him. Now, again, that doesn't really prove anything, because maybe that's still his plan for down the road, and he's like, okay, well, that's the issue right now. So I will say this, yeah, fuck JD Vance. Like there's no, well, I'm just saying, like, that's it, dude. You can't be listen, it was already a long shot that JD Vance would ever be capable of doing this, to be honest. I just, like, as we were talking about before, on a pure charisma level,
yes,
JD Vance just doesn't really have it. And don't get me wrong, he's smart in a way that Donald Trump isn't smart, like, and he's good at, like, in a more substantive way, dealing with, like, a hostile CNN host or something like that, where he can actually kind of make points. Right? Donald Trump would just have slogans and dismiss them and win with bravado, but he can actually get in and argue. But he's just not a charismatic figure. That's just, which is kind of a prerequisite for leadership. Like, yes. It just kind of is what it is. But being attached to this administration, I think that's all over.
President Vance told reporters at the White House on Tuesday that he will not be running for president in 2020.
Sorry, I've got the music thing kind of going crazy on me over here. Yeah, so no one's really K-Hive. What the hell? Okay.
Number one, the president doesn't sit at the Oval Office on his computer on his, like, Robinhood account buying and selling stocks. That's absurd. He has independent wealth advisors.
So Trump, I think it was 3,700 trades have been made while he's been in office the second time. 3,700 insider trades basically have been done under President Trump. So here JD is saying someone else is doing it for him. It still doesn't make it right.
Who manage his money. He is a wealthy person. He has had success in business. He's not making these stock trades himself. And your question imputes that. It doesn't say it exactly, but a reasonable person listening to that question would assume the president is sitting around and doing that. He's not.
All right, dude.
Second of
so
all,
full of shit.
Right.
No, JD, just go home, dude.
That went down. Many of those critical meetings in the Situation Room.
Yeah, I think the imagery that's been publicly released.
So this is Joe Kent, and I forget who's this. I don't even know who this broadcaster is, but I've seen. Oh, Cigar. Yes, that's his name, Cigar. Okay, Cigar. But Joe Kent. Let's hear what he has to say. It's always interesting to hear him. He is a war hero, but he is a CIA agent, essentially. Maybe not. I mean, once you're CIA, you're always going to be CIA, right? So you can only trust those guys so as far as you could throw them, really. I mean, they are professional spies, best of the best killers, liars, best at what they do. So
Released is very telling, where you had one small group that was down in Mar-a-Lago that night, and then you had the rest up at the Situation Room at the time. Look, in the lead up to the 12-day war, we were having very robust debates that were part of the National Security Council process. The principal small group, we'd have the deputies committee meetings, we'd have very robust debates with all 18 intelligence agencies, with the Joint Chiefs staff, etc. And that played out over the course of about a month in the lead up to the 12-day war, and to include ahead of Midnight Hammer, where a lot of us said, okay, fine, if you bomb these sites, that's all well and good. We take out Iran's ability to enrich. That meets our strategic objective. Problem is, the Israelis are going to come right back to us in a couple months and demand more, because their goal is regime change. Like, they're not beating around the bush about this. And so that was known. And so from my optic in the lead up to this last iteration, that process didn't play out. And people can say, oh, Kent doesn't know because just he wasn't invited. But I can tell you, the robust debate with the deputies committees, the National Security Council, that simply wasn't happening.
So to non-nerd speak, I think this is important. What you just laid out is a normal process. The Deputies Committee, Principals Committee, NSC, all options and views are presented to the president. Even the Iraq War, the most disastrous thing in the world, or at least in my lifetime, that played out that way. That's how it did. You can go and you can read about it.
So Joe Kent effectively saying there's no discussion between the most important cabinet officials before something like the attack happened. So who was it that Trump spoke with to make this decision, right? How is he making decisions? So that is something to recall. I just want to hear JD say the line where he said that, what was it, that we're locked and loaded? So I want to hear that, but let's see, what's this about?
You last week denied that the president said he was not taking Americans' financial situations into consideration when he's making decisions on the Iran war. He was asked about that again. He stood by it, called it a perfect statement, and said he would make it again. Do you believe that Americans' financial situations should be taken into consideration when you're making decisions as an administration about the war?
See, Caitlin, what you did is you misrepresented the question that I was asked, and then you misrepresented the answer that I gave.
Greg?
So because Vance is masterful at not getting into the mud, he doesn't allow people to drag him into the mud. He could probably handle the woman who was just there. But if you know you can't engage her. What he did with Collins here is to restate the facts that she had gotten wrong, passionately gotten wrong, and just say, here's what we're going to talk about. Watch him, because his whole brain, everything about his body is punctuating and saying what he's thinking, which tells us what I always tell you, mind, brain, or mind, mouth, and body are all speaking the same language. So he's not in fight or flight. He's got no increased barriers, no change in cadence, no change in pitch. His tone goes to telling when he says you misrepresented, and he's in charge. He's in charge of the situation. He just dismantled it. And you quote Mark Twain, never argue with an idiot.
Not sure how much I agree with that old man's analysis there. Let's look up Walked and Loaded. I just want to see the damn clip. And hearing about it. New capable B-52. That was days ago. Maybe he didn't say it. I heard through the grapevine that Vance had said.
Progress. We think the Iranians want to make a deal. The President of the United States has asked us to negotiate in good faith, and that's exactly what we've done. So we're in a pretty good spot here. But there's an option
on Tuesday, I believe.
The option B is that we could restart the military campaign to continue to prosecute the case, to continue to try to achieve America's objectives. And we could talk a little bit about what that looks like, but that's not what the president wants, and I don't think it's what the Iranians want either. We have an opportunity here, I think, to reset the relationship that has existed between Iran and the United States for 47 years. That's what the president has asked us to do, and that's what we're going to keep on working at. But it takes two to tango.
I think what people just want to know is, do you personally believe that the Iranians will come to a deal? Because we keep seeing this over and over again where they go back and forth.
So do I personally believe it? The honest answer is, how could I possibly know, right? And you negotiate with people, and sometimes you feel like you're making progress, and sometimes you feel like you're not making progress. What I think is that the Iranians want to make a deal. What I think is that the Iranians recognize that a nuclear weapon is the red line for the United States of America, that they've internalized that, but we're not going to know until we're actually putting pen to paper on signing a deal. We've had a lot of drafts, a lot of pieces of paper going back and forth, but I will not say with confidence that we're going to reach a deal until we're actually signing a negotiated settlement here. And I think that it's ultimately up to the Iranians whether they're willing to meet us, because I think we're certainly doing a good job, and we're certainly negotiating in good faith.
So let me just tell JD, I think he knows it. I think he's trying to play coy, but everyone, from all indications, Iran's not budging right now. I mean, it seems like they have leverage in terms of us not being able to get that straight open, and they're just waiting us out. So
we're going to have to see what ultimately happens with them. I can't say with confidence because I don't know what's in the mind of the other side.
On Iran, is Russia taking possession of the enriched uranium in Iran a plausible end to the war?
The dust, the nuclear dust.
So first, on the Russia taking possession of the enriched uranium, look, these things are being discussed through negotiation. That is not currently our plan. That has never been our plan. I've seen some reporting on that. I don't know where it comes from, but the president's going to continue to negotiate a deal. So that is not currently the plan of the United States government. The Iranians have not raised it. My sense is that's not something the
Iraq terrorist. So this is some I just saw. It says Iraqi terrorist commander charged with plotting Ivanka Trump assassination. Mohammed al-Saeed, 32, faces federal terrorism charges for directing nearly 20 attacks in Europe and Canada since March, targeting Jewish sites, U.S. interests. The New York reported, citing intelligence sources, former Iraqi diplomat that al-Saeed specifically threatened to kill Ivanka, burn down the house of Trump.
To allow us to work with a remarkable effort by our FBI, Director Patel leadership, and our international partners. And we were able to intercept and get in the middle.
So this is Todd Blanche on the government's propaganda arm, Fox News, speaking to whoever that blonde Fox News lady is about the Ivanka situation.
Of this man's attempts to wreak havoc and terrorize not only the United States, Canada, Europe. And so we were able to introduce an undercover working with our law enforcement partners. So I think what our U.S. attorney just said is dead on, that President Trump's leadership around the world allows us to have the credibility and the partnerships to allow us to work with folks overseas. And that's what happened here. So he was brought here and appeared in court this, earlier today. And it is on the one hand, should be very alarming to the people in this country that there are men around the world trying to exact this sort of terror. On the other hand, it shows the success of good law enforcement work and good police work and working hard to protect our borders, which is what we do every single day. And so this investigation is ongoing. It's just a complaint. I expect the next steps will be an indictment, and obviously we're still investigating and going to make sure that anybody that was involved with him will be brought to justice as well.
Was he picked up in Iraq, and when was he brought to the United States?
He was recently brought to the United States. I want to be careful talking about the operation so I don't put anybody in danger, but it's
So this is the guy.
Enough to say that this was.
So interesting story. I guess that's just happened right now, recently. We'll look into the UFO stuff soon. So the UFO stuff is trending right now, big time. Before that, I do want to get into something that, it's kind of been neglected lately. It's the Ukraine. That's content, man. Oh, Alex posted this right after his show earlier. Trump literally said he may stay in office past 2028. Let's see if anyone posted that clip underneath. Oh, some fucker trying to attack Alex Jones about Sandy Hook. Okay. Alex can't post anything because they just get on his ass right away. All right. That's fine. Let's talk about Ukraine. Ukraine, Russia. Stuff is picking up there, man. Russia just met with China after, Xi gave. Let's see if we could cover. I mean, I think we covered it. Xi, Putin. I think we covered it last time. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think we only covered briefly part of it. But there's a whole thing where Xi got had a painting commission. Had a painting commission for. She had a painting commission of him and Putin together. So.
В Китае говорят, не виделись день, а как будто минуло 3 осени. Мы действительно рады очень вас видеть. Мы сверяем постоянно часы, и лично, и через наших помощников, через правительство. Я тепло вспоминаю, как в прошлом году мы здесь имели возможность вместе принимать участие в праздновании 80-летия Победы во Второй мировой войне. Уважаемые.
Here's when they were signing, I believe it was a weapons. Was it weapons or just some sort of defense agreement? Let's see, it says agreement to expand Russia and China's cooperation. So we're recapping this before we loop it back into President Putin, obviously back in Russia, or he might even be in Belarus. No, I think he's in Russia, but Russia is having exercises with Belarus currently, the Belarusians, in terms of, I believe, nuclear exercises. So they're doing that, and then overnight, I believe it was, we're going to look into that. Ukraine, as they're getting all this nuclear, saber rattling, they attacked, and this is where we're getting mixed reports. So we'll see what X says. We'll see what some of the mainstream news says. I heard it was like 160 college students had been killed. So the earliest report I heard was that they had drone strikes. Ukraine had advanced into Russia. I believe it was somewhere around Moscow, and they were doing attacks, and they had attacked some college and killed 168 students, which technically would be like terrorism, I guess, because you're attacking the civilian population, but that's what Russia's been doing to Ukraine as well. So all this to say that it's starting to the heat's starting to turn up. Ukraine will not surrender. Europe continues to support Ukraine to fight for them. Russia is getting tired of it, right? And right now they're, having exercises with Belarus. So I want to see if I can find that comparing handshakes. Man, the Chinese and the Russians, they know about optics, because in their totalitarian states, they demand order. And it's impressive. It's impressive to see this type of display. Oh, sorry, you guys are watching me. Damn it, my bad. Look, check this out. And there is no sound for this. It's just... Here, let me turn up the music a little bit. There's presumably Putin through this Beijing. I should have had some more badass music, huh? I just don't want to. This is just uncopyright free music to use, so. All right, let's speed this up. Is it going to show the handshake? This one with the painting. So this post said, I don't know how accurate it is, but it says Putin will be leaving China with almost nothing. Let me turn this down a little. Putin will leave China with almost nothing. Russia failed to pressure Beijing into launching Serbian, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this was how many days ago? It's 20th. Let's see what Peskov said.
Президент как раз говорил на переговорах, что в целом основные параметры понимания по силе Сибири-2 есть. Есть и по маршруту есть, и по тому, как это будет строиться. Какие-то нюансы осталось договорить, но в целом такое понимание уже имеется.
Временные интервалы какие-то уже вырисовались?
Чего?
Вот этот проект по силе Сибири-2.
Peskov, that's Putin's like speaker or something. Let's put Russia, Belarus. Russia is preparing a new mobilization this autumn to launch offensive from Belarus, RBC Ukraine reports. Most likely scenarios divert Ukrainian sources from Donbass to the northern threat, create a buffer zone in Cherniv region, provocations from Belarus and Bryansk. Least likely, another attempt to storm Kyiv. War continues. Just in, Russia has successfully launched Yar's intercontinental ballistic missile capable of reaching virtually any point in Europe. Its range exceeds 10,000 kilometers. Russia is holding joint nuclear drills with Belarus for the first time. During such exercises, has transferred nuclear munitions and military. So there are nukes in Belarus, and they are rehearsing how to launch them. Normally, such procedures are rehearsed using mock warheads rather than actual weapons. So this is in Belarus. This is their joint exercises, guys. This is what's going on the border of Ukraine. Putin announces joint nuclear forces drill between Russia and Belarus. According to Russian president, two countries' armies will practice nuclear command operations during the exercise and carry out launches of ballistic and cruise missiles. Putin said nuclear weapons remain a last resort, but due to a growing global tensions, Russia must maintain the readiness of its nuclear forces. Let's hear from President.
Александр Григорьевич, уважаемые товарищи, сегодня в рамках учений мы проводим первую совместную тренировку армий России и Белоруссии по управлению стратегическими и тактическими ядерными силами. Уже отмечал и вновь подчеркну, использование такого оружия, ядерного оружия, это крайняя, исключительная мера обеспечения национальной безопасности наших государств. Вместе с тем, учитывая рост напряженности в мире, появление новых угроз и рисков, наша ядерная триада, как и прежде, должна служить надежным гарантом суверенитета союзного государства России и Беларуси. Обеспечить решение задач стратегического сдерживания, поддержания ядерного паритета и баланса сил на глобальном уровне. В ходе совместной тренировки предстоит отработать широкий круг задач. Прежде всего, действия должностных лиц по управлению и взаимодействию при применении ядерного оружия.
Nuclear weapons, ballistic nuclear weapons.
Республики Беларусь. Также
capable of hitting anywhere in Europe. There's Lukashenko at the bottom.
И крылатых ракет. Александр Григорьевич, передаю.
Lukashenko is one of the funniest looking leaders. Let me tell you why. So he looks like a huge Winnie the Pooh. He walks like Winnie the Pooh. However, look at his dog. This is his little dog that he takes everywhere with him. Look at this thing. And his quotes about the dog are fucking hilarious. And we're not glazing, we're just,
2 shoes for the trail, 1 barefoot.
you know, the dog is a funny, I think the dog has the highest approval rating in all of Eastern Europe.
Trail flow helps you move.
Позвольте мне сначала поприветствовать еще раз Александра Григорьевича.
Спасибо.
Поблагодарить за то, что он принял.
This is like a year ago or two,
такой день.
or a couple years ago.
Каждый год. А еще в такой день, когда мы вспоминаем о всех воинах, которые положили свою жизнь за Отечество. Именно и у нас это памятная дата, это стало традицией, мы регулярно встречаем.
Okay, watch. Look, the dog. We have more than 50 billion in sales.
50, свыше
And then the
50
fucking dog comes in.
оборот торговый.
Who's trying to talk? This is a very good achievement. There are many projects.
Они, причем в таких очень важных перспективных областях. Разумеется, при таком объеме всегда много вопросов возникает. У нас будет возможность эти вопросы все обсудить.
В выходные мы положим на алтарь обсуждения.
Скажите, что или я уже вопросы.
Спасибо, Владимир Владимирович, вы очень правильно сказали. Я это подлетал сюда и отмечал, что мы с вами хорошую традицию зародили. Два православных народа, мы как представители каждый год. И этот храм уже как родной. Но вот на подъезде заметили, что смоленский скит это хорошо, но белорусского нет здесь скита.
Это наше общее.
Да.
Заложен в 1914
году. Ну и Смоленск рядом, да, практически, поэтому мы тоже подумаем.
Да,
построить храмик какой-то, подумаем над этим. Раз уж дорога проложена, сюда много белорусов приезжает. Вера одна, православная наша, поэтому спасибо вам за то, что вы положили хорошую традицию.
All right, I don't know if it was worth it watching that because there's some of the pictures are even better. Like look at this one of Lukashenko's dog. Where is it? Let's see. Look at this little fucker. The dog's name is Umka, dog of Belarusian President Lukashenko, on a tribute at Red Square. Belarusian delegation said that it was not the dog's first attendance at the parade. So the dog goes to all the military parades as well. Look at that little thing. So there's a whole story to it, and he says he loves it because it's so like powerless, and it basically would die without him. I think he has like a quote like that saying that it's ugly and it can't protect itself, so it needs me to take care of it. So we're talking about these here. Check this out. These are the exercises happening currently in Belarus and Russia. This is important because today tensions picked up. So Ukraine strike. What should I search for? Let me see. I researched it earlier. So there's a Ukraine strike that sparked terrorism claims, right? So it says Russian cadet training school sneeze. Let's Google or let's search Ukraine attack. Because some of the information, it's still not verifiable. So, Ukraine launched drone strikes on Starobilsk overnight, hitting a university, dormitory housing children, and several other buildings. 4 UAVs were used in the attack. At least 4 people killed, 40 injured. The dormitory partially collapsed with more than 80 people. And then rescuers stopped because of the second attack. Threat of a second attack. So this is a school apparently. The Ukrainians. So Ukrainians are saying that it was a Russian. So there's 2 strikes. There was one on a Russian cadet training camp, and then one on a student dormitory.
By the Kiev junta in the Lugansk People's Republic overall, I said what I had to say on this matter. And I think that everything that had to be said was said, but if you have anything you want to share or proposals you wanted to make in this regard, I would like you to mention this during our today's meeting. Let's start. I'm talking about
Russia will retaliate. The president instructed the Ministry of Defense to submit proposals for responding to the strike. Ukraine terrorism. Numerous students dead, critically injured, missing. President Putin. Ukraine carried out terrorist attack on college dormitory in Lugansk People's Republic at night when the students were in their dormitories. The Ukraine terror attack took place in 3 waves. There were no military facilities near the training building. The president instructed Ministry of Defense to submit proposals responding to the strike. Situation for the Ukraine military at the front is turning into catastrophic. Okay. Is turning catastrophic. I guess that's what they meant to say. The Kiev regime needs such crimes to divert attention from what is happening to the front line. So this is 6 minutes, so let's
Вынужден начать с трагических событий, о которых вы наверняка тоже
Is there any English?
слышали, знаете.
No English. He's speaking Russian. I can't translate, but
Делают украинская власть.
But we got the gist of what he said, so.
That this is it's absolutely clear that this is a deliberate targeting of civilians. Previously in war history,
keep in mind this is from the Russian Times.
Parties to the war could say how mistake occurred. Today, with such guidance systems, especially with systems like in Lugansk or even better in Moscow, your goal is to cause fear and panic among the civilians. This tells me that Russia is still strong and has the initiative on the front, and therefore resorts to attempt to cause internal instability in country. Since my first visit to Donbass in 2017 until today, I have personally witnessed many such cases. It was especially surprising to watch the residents of Donetsk who, half an hour after the attack that claimed human lives, were out with their children or walking their dogs. In one case, I must note that when Miners Square in Donetsk was targeted, public transport was not disrupted at all. I arrived on the scene by trolley bus and returned to send material the same way. So when you ask me how Western media treat this problem, that's something that we Serbs endured during the 90s when we are accused of human rights abuse and etc., war crimes. But that's the one-way street. Same as a story about children that Russia
Okay, so separate strikes, but I'm hearing the Russian officials claim that 65 plus cadets have been killed at the training site, and then 6 teens were killed at the dormitories that were hit in the separate area. 35 total additional injured. So you've got 71 dead and another 35 injured. Putin called it terrorism. And he's ordering retaliation and escalating the rhetoric. So Ukraine-linked sources are arguing military personnel were operating near targeted areas. Online footage, casualty claims spread rapidly with conflicting narratives. So we have this war starting to heat up as well.
Ограничиться заявлениями МИДа невозможно. Поэтому Министерству обороны Российской Федерации приказано представить свои предложения. А сейчас я просил бы, понимаем, что в подобных случаях
focus right now, the second, is not on Ukraine. It's clearly on Iran, but this gives them more excuse to not get involved in casting any kind of blame whatsoever on the Ukrainians. So I envision that it'll go largely ignored. It might get a blip here or there, but that's about it. And then we'll move on. I think what will get response will be what Russia decides to do in going after Ukrainian military facilities in reaction to this. But the only thing that you're going to get out of the Western media will be, well, that Russia attacked Ukraine today. That's all you're going to hear. You won't hear why. You won't hear that it's a response to something as dastardly as this. So I think that so you're only going to get it one way. That's just the way the propaganda runs here.
Божечки.
So why is this important? I mean, I think with Russia conducting these exercises with Belarus, these nuclear uh, ballistic nuclear missile exercises, they're practicing launching those. So, and then this attack just happened on the heels of that. So we're going to see where things go there, but it's not looking pretty. Putin has already asked for for his Ministry of Defense to come up with ways to respond to that attack. So I'm sure it will not go unanswered. See if there's any other good stuff in here.
Уважаемые товарищи, сегодня в рамках учения.
I think we already saw that about part of the exercises, so I think we should just jump over to the Candace Owens and Hunter Biden. There's some clips there. Let's see if we can just kind of... Actually, let's go to Zelensky. Oh, okay, it's Voldemir, right? How do I... It's not Vladimir. All right, let's just... Man, I'm sorry my internet's so slow today. I guess it is my internet. So Zelensky posted... Ukraine's positions are stronger. So he just keeps posting stuff about trying to keep morale high in the country. However, a lot of what's coming out, all the videos I see coming out of Ukraine, none of them are good. So but you know, you only know how much of it is true and how much of it is like propaganda, but
I don't care anymore. It's like, don't do that to me. If you react this way ever again, it's done. I'll leave you in a second. I can't deal with that. You know, I'm taking you to a nice dinner,
Oh my God.
and all it is pushing for more and more.
Pushing for more and more. You told me I could go.
Yeah, I'm taking you out to dinner. It's like you say thank you, and if I tell you you're going home at 10:30, you're going home at 10:30. Okay?
Yeah, dude,
And you
100%.
Put a smile on your face.
Okay.
You understand? So go get that nice dress on.
No.
What are you talking about? No. No, right now.
Patrick,
hey, right now, put it on.
You said I could go.
And you
said
are
I
going.
could go.
I said I'll take you to fucking New York.
Oh my God, that's not what I'm talking about.
I never
you
said.
know that's not what
I
I'm
never
talking
said
about.
I would take you to the club. And even if I did say that, I'm telling you right now, you can't go to the club.
Okay. And I'm telling you that that's why I was saying anything about it in the first place.
Never. It's not happening. No, it's not happening. You shouldn't even want to.
I shouldn't.
I should tell you, we're going to the club. Do you want to? I don't want to come.
Bitches don't listen, man. Honestly, like, yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, but it's true. Like, if you take a woman, if you pay for something, they should say thank you. If someone gives you a gift, you say thank you. If someone pays for my food, I say thank you, right? And then if you're asked to come over at a certain time, you should leave by a certain time, or you shouldn't be expecting to stay all fucking day, man. Women be trying to sleep over and hang out and stay way longer than is necessary. So, what is this?
So what I'm going to ask you, Spencer, what do you say to somebody like her who's walking through the same filth I am and is now going to vote for the same stuff?
Yeah, I'm not actually trying to convert these people because they're clearly living on in a different dimension. The people I'm getting to vote for me, their eyeballs work. They see their pockets for all their tax money going to these drug addicts going boop next to their cars. My older sister called me the other day, and she didn't realize she drove through human poop or whatever, and she's gone to the car wash 6 times, and every time she gets in her car, no matter what, it just smells like. Even my older sister, who has voted for every single Democrat since she was 18.
Okay, you believe the official moon landing. It's just like, oh.
This is Owen Schroyer. He used to be on Alex Jones. He used to host War Room. This is Harrison Smith. He hosts War Room now on Alex Jones Network. Not sure who this guy is. This is a debate that they did with some boomers.
My gosh, okay, boomer. Oh, we're sick of this same policy.
Which policy are you talking about that you're sick of?
Tonight, we're going to tell the truth. There is a deep and significant fracture inside the right, and it's getting worse.
We tried it your way, and all it's done is cause the problem.
Ranting online is not going to solve the problem.
It's generational.
Judeo-Christian values, lessons of World War II.
Judeo-Christian values, just please toss that out of the ring. And as far as World War II is concerned, are we ever going to move on?
All of these issues that you're bitching about have been fought time and time and time again.
That type of response is what's driving people to the left.
Well, they came in illegally, but they're good people and they're working now on farms.
Trump betrayed his base, he betrayed his voters, and he did not follow through, and he was not conservative at all. And we thought Trump was going to be different.
So did we, and Trump was supposed to be the leader.
So I'll give this a watch later. I don't, Owen Schroyer is pretty good. I'm pretty sure I would have liked him on War Room. I'm a huge Alex Jones fan, so I do watch Harrison after Alex Jones on War Room. That ended about 2 hours ago, but this is the debate that they did, I think like a month ago, and I guess they just posted it. But check that out. I'm not sure where you can find it. I'm definitely on YouTube, but I guess if you look up Harrison Smith or Owen Schroyer, they'll probably link to that debate. So it's millennials versus, what they call it? Millennials versus boomers, straight up. So, all right, that'll be worth watching later. So. This is guys fighting Johnny Manziel tomorrow, and he's been drinking and gambling. Bob Maneri, whoever the hell that is. So,
Manziel, I promise you that.
Bob, what are you doing for your big fight? You have a fight tomorrow, Bob.
I do have a fight.
You're
tomorrow.
playing the Bandit.
Well, I mean, you guys think, playing the Bandit, having a beer. You know, I'm celebrating because nobody thought I'd make weight. Nobody thought this was going to happen. Nobody thought I was going to show up. You're wrong everywhere. You know where else you're wrong? If you took Johnny Manziel, I promise you that. You can put your entire fucking life savings on me. I'll never lose this fight. That's all I'll say. Back to LeBandit.
And this isn't like, hey, Bob, let's film a story. This is actually what he's doing. Bob Menery, $7,000, drinking a Bud Light, and he has a fight tomorrow. Dude, he has a fight tomorrow, and he's sitting here playing. He's playing the Bandit, though, drinking beer. Why are you not training? Like doing light cardio. He's drinking beer.
So I guess he must be a kick streamer. So it's going to be streaming this fight where Johnny Manziel is taking this guy on. That's going to be obviously the main event. It's going to be on like YouTube, Kick, all this stuff. So we're going to cover that in a little bit. I still need to cover. I still wanted to check. What the hell are these fools doing?
Shit. Look at these little stupid
mushrooms?
ass niggas. What the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas, bro? Get the fuck out! Weird ass niggas. I'm about to start beating the fuck out y'all niggas in here. Get the fuck out my shit. You too, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out.
These fools all have cell phones in prison. Red Mercury appears. What the hell? Crazy. Yeah, it's just this guy's the first guy to get the Order of St. George Cross, first time in history. Ethnic minority Serbian group, best soldier in Russia. It's equivalent, I guess, of like whatever's above the Medal of Honor or maybe just the Medal of Honor, but no one's gotten that since the Russian Revolution. Crazy. I wonder what he did. Let's see. President Putin awarded Sergeants Nikolai Komenov and Yevgeny Roshev the first degree St. George Cross, making them the first full holders of Order of St. George in post-Soviet Russia since 1992. Oh, okay. Komenov, a reconnaissance platoon commander from Siberian ethnic minority, received honor in the Kremlin ceremony shown in the post video where Putin personally pinned the medal on his uniform. The award, what did he do? I'm sure there's some heroic story, but maybe we don't know what it is. Reconnaissance Platoon Commander, 37th Separate Motorized Rifle Brigade, and Yevgeny Roshev, Tank Commander, 127th Motorized Rifle Regiment, received first degree St. George Cross as first full holders, all 4 degrees of the award in post-Soviet Russia. Yevgeny Nikolai Komenov volunteered in summer 2022, has been involved in combat since. Recon platoon leader instructed assaults on Ukrainian strong points, captured prisoners, repelled attacks, adjusted artillery drone fire. Specific actions include discovering and helping destroy Ukrainian armored column attempting counterattack, 5 armored vehicles, and infantry eliminated. Wow. Repelling counteroffensives, including one where his unit destroyed enemy infantry and equipment. His lower degree crosses were awarded for storming positions, taking prisoners, and defensive fights under heavy fire. So basically, he fought his way into the meat grinder and fought his way out. Yevgeny Roshev, tank commander, distinguished himself, direct fire support. In one notable engagement, his tank destroyed 8 Ukrainian firing positions and 2 mobile mortars, which enabled Russian assault groups. Previously earned Lower St. George for combat. Wow, okay, so these 2 guys are straight up combat heroes.
Yeah. All day, every day? All day. I just dumped a lot. Yeah.
Oh, he's keto? Is that what it is?
Is this all you eat? Just meat? You're a keto guy? Yeah, keto. Are you really? Yeah. All day, every day? All day. How long have you been doing it? 8 years. Oh my God. How did you get past that first month? Bro. I'm struggling to get past that first. Oh, what? I just dumped a lot.
What? Pat McAfee, what? Pat McAfee on the show, what? I need to start watching Pat again. China unveils new challenge to GP challenge to NVIDIA. So this is it. So China's going to keep propping their technology makers up because I mean it's all state funded.
显卡分数来讲，我们现在是23,279分，那这个相当于一个什么水平呢？是相当于英伟达的3060
So NVIDIA's chips, the RT 3060 and the RTX.
代表我们的硬件能力是可以超越3060的。
Well, that new device may yeah, it's going to be in our video games, and then China can get our technology and see what we're doing directly.
We 要查一个 bug， 可能1天1周，有的时候查1个月，有一个很隐含的 bug， 查1个月都查不 查不出来。讲句实话，作为一个工程师，在第一天，在去年的那个5月份第一天，我们这芯片回骗的那一天，我们真的是热泪盈眶，大家欢呼雀跃。对，这个我觉得就是。
All right, let's just look at a couple clips from this Candace Owens. Stop what you were doing and read this. Okay, this is not Hunter Biden, but this is some guy posted about who Trump is listening to. Okay, and Candace Owens said you must read this. What happened to Trump? Who's he listening to? Why does he feel like the internet isn't real and engagement is fluctuating because particular... I think I can help answer both questions. Company, Vine, Fig Tree, Vine. Beats VFT Pro earlier this year, meeting with Gorka. Okay, Gorka the big gay whale. Shortly after House meeting, I was contacted through a third party to script write for VFT. Okay. The individual who contacted me is publicly very Christian and widely perceived as American first. I was told the script would be used to create AI-generated video on behalf of the White House, specifically for big gay whale Gorka. They told me, yes, yeah, we do have, yes, okay, sorry. Yeah, we have to do this on our behalf, administration, because they don't want to make it look like it's actually coming from the White House. You know what I mean? I mean, it worked for them with Nick Shirley. I was given the Dropbox link containing search polling data, internal commitments, and strategy material compiled by VFT to get the third party involved. Through those documents, they're what this organization actually does. Reports and monitor major conservative and dissent right accounts, frequently frame these accounts as vulnerable to and participating in foreign influence operations. So all the typical suspects that they're trying to attack: Fuentes, Hodge twins, Candace, Tucker Carlson, Ian Carroll, Mario Newfall. They also collected polling and response data surrounding Joe Kent. And honestly, I've been getting text messages to respond to a survey about my opinion about Israel. Weird, right? Yeah, they're watching all of us. And that same Charlie Kirk report, they state this represents, okay, in another report, they argue that the distrust surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination was mostly due to Americans falling for Russian, Iranian, Pakistani propaganda networks. In that same Charlie Kirk report, they state this represents an urgent national security threat and demands a whole lot of government response to cyber attacks and terrorism. The internal comments attached to these reports are what stood out. They talk about going after Fuentes, stating undermining his Christian identity is probably a good idea. They contemplate getting Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles to publish on behalf of VFT. They suggest collaborating with NCRI, founded by Joel Finkelstein, a multi-million-dollar organization that tracks hate speech on social media. Another internal document weighs on how they will advise politicians based on their data info surrounding JD Vance. There's definitely a way to use this in our favor. Tell politicians that there are two wings of the party. They don't overlap. The majority lies here, and this is where you should be if you want to get reelected. The documents also discuss burner profiles. Okay. Well, let's take a look. MAGA, America First split is real. 68% of respondents believe America First and MAGA are now different things. JD Vance, cultivating a broad tent coalition. He is rejected by large parts of the coalition. Yeah, that's true. Carlson is perceived more honest than Fuentes, who's perceived more honest than Candace. I would say Nick is very honest. I think he jokes a lot, but I think he's pretty honest. Supporting Christian values plays a larger role in public life and is an important predictor of these influencers' popularity. Foundational for Nick Fuentes. Interesting. Okay. Survey. This is why I don't participate to the surveys. Why give them more info? So they blamed Iranian, Russian, and Pakistani propaganda. Andrew Tate, who's facing legal triggered outpouring.
Look at the conspiracy.
Hunter Biden claims his dad was being threatened and blackmailed by Israel. Okay, this is probably the most important one, honestly.
Go look up Gal Luft and Alexander Smirnov. They're the two principal individuals that made the only claim that people hung their hat in Congress and elsewhere as it relates to my dad and corruption, bribery and stuff like that. One of them is a fugitive from justice wanted by Interpol and the United States government, Gal Luft, who is a former IDF officer who is believed to be living in Israel as a fugitive, which the Israelis will not help us locate. And the other one is Alexander Smirnov, who is a known Israeli intelligence agent. Those are the two people who was in a prison in the United States, so serving 6 years, and they can't find him. Bureau of Prison can't find him in his prison, in the prison. He is on furlough, but no one knows where he's been furloughed to. The only passport that he has is an Israeli passport. There are forces that I used to say, oh, this is bullshit.
Now I have already made the pledge right when I got on the phone with you that, like, obviously I'm not going to.
It's the beginning of it. I think it was a cordial. It was a very nice discussion. People are pissed off, and some people are saying that Hunter was very human. If you listen to the Sean Ryan interview with Hunter Biden, yeah, I mean, you just start to, you recognize that people are human, they make mistakes, and, it is what it is. But people on the right are pissed off saying that Candace is helping Hunter rebuild his image and that it's all bullshit and that he's currently still a crackhead.
To make you say anything bad about your father, because that would just be completely demonic to be like, say something terrible about your father. Everyone knows my opinions, my political perspectives. They're already out there. He is your dad. So that is separate from my viewpoints.
Because there's no way I possibly could.
Yeah, of course. I totally get that. But there's a lot to be said about you, and a lot that I guess hasn't. The Hunter Biden story, I will say to the audience right now, I have already
like I was a degenerate crack addict. I mean, I've heard you call me a crackhead many times, and the truth of the matter is I was a crackhead.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, how else are you going to play that? You just got to accept it.
Like, went to Catholic school, and you're talking to me about the Gnostic Gospels.
Okay, let's you and I go see the Pope together.
I'd love to do that.
Seriously.
I think he's a little mad at America right now.
No, but you and I
he's been. I was tweeted the same day as the Pope, by the way, by Trump when he said bad things about me.
For real, let's go to the Vatican.
I would love to. I would love to.
It's the coolest place in the world.
You're Catholic. You're raised Catholic.
Looks like Hunter's trying to be friends with Candace.
The DC elite of the left, they crushed my dad. They when they saw their chance, they did everything in their power to push him out. You know why? Because he was never part of that club. He was never part of the Epstein class. It's like, you think I'm going to defend the DC elite of the. You look at the conspiracy. Go look up Gal Luft and Alexander Smirnov. They're the two principal individuals that made the only claim that people hung their hat in Congress and elsewhere as it relates to my dad and corruption, bribery and stuff like that. One of them is a fugitive from justice wanted by Interpol and the United States government, Gal Luft, who is a former IDF officer who is believed to be living in Israel as a fugitive, which the Israelis will not help us locate. And the other one is Alexander Smirnov, who is a known Israeli intelligence agent. Those are the two people who was in a prison in the United States, so serving 6 years, and they can't find him. Bureau of Prison can't find him in his prison, in the prison. He is on furlough, but no one knows where he's been furloughed to. The only passport that he has is an Israeli passport. There are forces that I used to say, oh, this is bullshit.
Where is Alexander Smirnov? Alexander Smirnov, the former FBI informant, pleaded guilty. Fabricating bribery allegations involving Biden family, was released from prison on medical furlough. While he was originally serving a 6-year sentence at low security FCI Terminal Island in LA. Exact whereabouts are unclear. He's been missing from the facility since 2025. Crazy. How do you just disappear? So they just let you go when you say you're sick enough? Or is he in Tel Aviv? Probably likely he's in some state, or Miami. Miami with BB's kid, maybe.
Versus Republican, I'm like, this is sheer evil versus good.
By the way,
this is like sheer evil.
But by the way, for real, exactly.
Like I'm
exactly. It is good versus evil.
Yeah.
It is they have torn the mask off of this. I said to you before, is that I pray to God that by the end of this, that you think of me as a friend, because if anything ever happened to me, I want you and Melissa team up. Like, oh my God.
Of it's not.
So smart request. Let's shift gears a little bit to some more positive stuff. Just to break it up a little bit, let's talk about the MMA. Let's see. Let's go Johnny Football. Johnny Manziel fight. Former Heisman Trophy Johnny Manziel scheduled to make his MMA debut this next week on Aiden Ross brand risk promotions against Bob Menry.
Man, long day training for the Menry fight. Gonna go get 5 steps in on the beach. I would fight this motherfucker for free. The fact I'm getting paid for it is even better. Making excuses about weight, Steve's not even on his team. I mean, what the fuck is going on here, Bob? How about I kick your ass, and then we go out and I outdrink you too, and we'll see who the real winner is.
So this is the weigh-ins. UFC president is now down 10K after betting that Henry would not show up to fight against Manziel. That's Johnny Football's weigh-in picture. This guy is gonna probably get his ass kicked by Manziel, honestly.
Not gonna happen, probably.
Do you think he'll get into the fight?
Bob's gonna be fighting Johnny Manziel. Allegedly, it's not gonna happen, probably.
Do you think he'll get into the fight?
Huh?
Do you think you're gonna get into the fight? Like, do you think they'll be? Who's gonna it's gonna be like Saquon. It's gonna be like fucking.
I don't think a lot of people are gonna pull up that you think are gonna pull up.
No, it'll be an event. It'll be a fucking event. It's gonna be. It's already. It's Aiden's buying it. I'm buying it. Fucking.
Johnny hasn't agreed.
Dana's. How can Johnny say no to Dana White? How that Aiden?
Now
Ross,
he has all the leverage. He could say, "Hey."
That was over a month ago. It's already happening. So here's the card. So make sure you guys can see it. Yep. Okay. So Manziel versus Henry. Okay, I haven't heard of him, but he's probably a streamer, right? MMA, former Heisman Trophy winner. Well, he's always going to be a Heisman Trophy winner. Former NFL Cleveland Browns quarterback. Then you got Ray J, the guy that fucked Kim Kardashian into stardom, versus someone named Supa Hotfire. This guy on the right. I don't think any of these guys work out besides probably Johnny Football. Down here you got Fly Sold. Yeah, that's one of the what do they call themselves? The boys, Island Boys. One of the Island Boys versus Jeremy Smith. Not sure what the beef is there. That's an MMA fight. No Neck Jay versus Shane Chance. Dom the Troll versus Tommy Tough Knuckles. Then the boxing match is Sean Garcia and Scam Likely, probably from Nigeria. And Antonio Williams versus Haskell Rhodes, Gabe Sill, okay, AP the fighter. I mean, I don't know who any of those guys are at the bottom, but it's going to be out on Twitch, Kick, X, and YouTube, just like me.
Absolutely, without a fucking doubt. And I kick way up.
This the guy that's fighting Johnny Football.
Do you think you're stronger than Johnny Manziel?
Absolutely, without a fucking doubt. And I kick way up. He might. I mean, I'm not giving anything away, but he might have a severe injury out of this thing. I don't play a character either. I don't act tough. I will probably break his fucking leg.
Wow, very intense.
I probably will. Yeah, I'll probably break his leg. I promise you. But I don't want to do that because I like him. But then you got to realize you're in a fight, so you got to, So that's
it's 3 rounds, 3 5-minute rounds.
3-minute rounds, but.
Do you think you're stronger than Johnny Manziel?
Absolutely.
So we got this gem of a main event going on. He said he's gonna kill him.
Bob, how does it feel to be fighting in Vegas?
Dude, I mean, this is sick. This is actually pretty sick. I am pumped. It's probably the most pumped I've ever been about anything. Like, Johnny committed this fight. Like, I stuck him in a corner, 14 days notice. Had to do it, and I'm pumped. I actually am really pumped. And I think everybody it'll be a rocking crowd, too, I think, because there's some, I mean, I hit up Max Crosby the other day. I'm like, hey, man, you want to come to the fight? You're the man. Yeah. Love you, bro. He's like, yeah, but I'm on Johnny's side. I'm like, fuck. This is really separating some people.
The Raiders.
I got a lot of people in high places, but at the end of the day, everybody can bet on what they want to do, cheer for who they want. But I will. I'm pumped.
Seems like a lot of the football fan base, whatever, has Johnny. Obviously, Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that if you can.
I just don't really understand. What bothers me is when people ask you to and support you and say things in a DM, and they say that they really like you and this stuff, hey, you're hilarious, we love it, and then goes and just flips a 180 on you, and then you just hear him say some shit about you. I'm like, well, how do you have the balls to tell me at least first what I did to you? What happens is Pat's got a big head, he's got paid, he's a puppet for ESPN or whatever he is, but Pat's I thought I liked Pat, but I don't know. I took it as like, bro, you were sucking my dick fucking a couple years ago, and now you're just a dick, so don't be a dick. Just lose your big ego and just realize like you have a great life, but you're not as big as you think you are. Nobody is.
Seems like a lot of people are looking down on Bob showing up, all this stuff. I see you. You're right in front of me, Bob. Dana White, talk to us about that.
No, I mean, here we are. Yeah, we're ready to show up. I'm here. I'll be ready. I actually had to go to a bar.
All right, enough of that guy.
That thing, like the Aiden Ross thing, is really, really cool.
Yeah, great.
You've been there, right? But this is the thing about.
So I guess he was on with Neon.
Let me tell you this about Brandris, right? What I told them is this. Guys, what's so amazing is everybody does boxing on that whole card.
Yeah.
We're the only one that is MMA.
You're doing MMA?
Listen, 4-ounce gloves, me and Johnny, and Dana White came in and made it the fucking Apex. So May 23rd, that'll be a crazy ass fucking
Wait,
thing.
so
So that's why there's no UFC event this weekend, because the UFC event will essentially be this brand risk management with Aiden Ross streaming at where they do the fight nights in Vegas.
do you have beef with Johnny or no?
No, not at all, but at the same.
And I think Larry Wheels might roll through to that, so we'll see. I've been watching Larry Wheels on Kick lately. Give him a follow. That dude's pretty chill. He doesn't treat people like shit that much, and his streams are entertaining. So
Time.
You're gonna fuck him up.
We're gonna. It'll be fun. You know what I mean? I wanted to fight Kyle because I fucking me with Kyle.
You have beef with Kyle?
Bro, we get in a fist fight at the St. Regis Hotel.
Wait, you have beef with Kyle?
All right.
All the stuff that's gone on with me and Nelk and Bob Menery over the years. Menery is back, and he is supposedly signed a deal at Aiden Ross's fight show down in Miami to fight Johnny Manziel. Okay, so Menery hits me up and says, "Who you betting on?" I said, "I'm betting on you don't even show up. That's my bet." Menery never does anything he says he's gonna do. Aiden Ross's fight show in Miami, Menery versus Manziel. I'm betting 10,000. Menery does not show up. And Bob, if you do, and
so I guess Menery is supposed to be a comedian that does sports voices, and before I got more interested in kind of just foreign policy and just current events and talking about that, I used to spend a lot of time just kind of focused on sports and looking at that. Oh, America First. No show tonight. Okay. No Nick Fuentes show tonight. Breaking news. So I've never heard of this guy.
Take any shit from outsiders was Mike Kadick, who was ready to fight Johnny Manziel's entire entourage at the club last night. Kadick, can you describe what happened with that situation, and how close did it get to getting physical?
Like, I fucking can't stand when people think they're better than they are, especially when people are just filled to the brim with fake shit.
Let's go, Kaden. I love this. Wait,
It's so
girls.
I was willing to die on that battlefield last night to I thought Danny got disrespected.
Yeah, a girl tried to like fight me and try to get me kicked out.
Kelly got disrespected. It's just so fucking annoying. So I was standing on that fucking ledge for 3 hours. And ask anyone here, I was minding my fucking business, dancing, hanging out, and then this guy who looked like a piece of shit came up. Well, first of all, this chick that had a silicone filled ass sat down like at my feet, and then so this girl sits at my feet, comes into my space, into my fucking bubble, and then her fucking little pussy of a boyfriend walks up and goes, "Yo, dude, yo, dead ass, like, yo, my girl actually feels mad uncomfortable with a big guy like you standing behind her. You're a grown-ass," he said, I quote, "You're a grown-ass man standing up on a ledge dancing." I said,
It was attached to our table. It was literally part of our table.
I said, what? I said, brother, back the fuck away from me before you disrespect any of my fucking friends again. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if I like you, I hate you. If you're in my group, I will protect you, and I'm willing to die, okay? And these fucking losers. Johnny Manziel was great. He was a great dude, but his fucking people. And you're only as good as the people you hang around. So this guy brings around these fucking losers, dude. And I'm like, how miserable must your...
Is Johnny Football on Kick? He should just stream. He'd be a millionaire again. He should just stream. Aiden Ross here.
So Johnny Manziel is officially some Branders updates. So Johnny Manziel is officially signed.
Oh, he was trying to get Chud to fight.
We are ready to go on May 23rd. We'll have an announcement very soon, like on a banner. But for sure, Johnny Manziel and Bob Menery is a lock. It's done. We are trying to make this Drago fight happen.
Give Johnny some love when I'm bouncing your head off the fucking canvas, bitch.
Oh, bro, that's all I need to hear. So here's the deal, Johnny. I'll promise you this. I think it lasts 45 seconds, bro. I'm coming and swinging. And the thing is this, too. Watch out. There ain't no leg shot, boy.
By the way,
ain't
I
no
hope
leg
you
shot.
know, and all the chat knows, we are both absolute savages in the streets. We party. We're outside. Like, this
Bro,
is...
to do this before I was
no
clubs,
win.
like, guys,
This thing's
gotta
not
realize
going
this.
above around.
Understand this shit. Brand risk used to be.
What is this? They added a Beasley-Stevenson fight? 14 dual main event fight announcement. Oh, Beasley's gonna fight. That's why he was training with Larry Wheels. And oh, you gotta take Lance Stevenson in this one because Beasley looked awful. He's not aggressive enough. He was like scared to punch, and he's scared to take a hit for sure. So, and Lance is looking nasty motherfucker. So I think Lance might. That should be a main event. That's a quality fight. Is this what Aiden Ross does then? He just promotes fights? I don't know, man. I'm out of the loop. I just started watching some kick streamers, and I've heard his name a lot, but I don't follow. And then so speaking of sports here, let's go to enhanced games, and then we'll catch up with some NBA. Behind the scenes with Thor heading to the inaugural enhanced games this weekend. They will stream live on Sunday at 6 p.m. Roku, YouTube. Wow, it's on everything. So catch it. at 3:30 p.m. on YouTube and Kick.
I am the best deadlifter on this planet. I'm focused, I've trained for 20 weeks total where I'm locked in just for the enhanced games, just focused on that. And I cannot wait for May 24th. Mitch is a strong guy, but I am definitely a level above him when it comes to deadlifting. I have never been as prepared for anything in my life as right now for the enhanced games. So if he beats me, hats off to him, but I doubt it. I'll see you guys soon. World record is coming.
So enhanced games is what it sounds like. They're steroids, whatever, no holds barred. You can take what you want. There is no testing. You can be on drugs if you want, I think. Is this real, this guy? Australian swimmer with Olympic silver medal said he juiced off the gills to break the world record. The Missile Magnuson. Damn, look at that dude's. I'd have to do like 700 pull-ups to an hour for life. This dude's like a bird. Can he fly? Yeah, his chest looks like a back. Brian Johnson. Oh, this is that health freak guy. He said he's co-hosting the Enhanced Games this Sunday, first time as a broadcaster. Olympics with enhancement allowed. Athletes used FDA-approved medications prescribed by doctors. Oh, okay. Athletes are testing the frontiers. I'll be speaking to the athletes' measurements, clinical care, and enhancement protocols. Kind of makes everything not fun. So that's what's going on this weekend, the Enhanced Games.
976. 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. Not bad.
1119.
Go.
So they're gonna have enhanced sprinters and everything too.
Was the impetus behind this?
I've been studying the Olympics and the Olympic movement my entire life. You know, I'm 39 years old. When I was a undergrad.
Is this the future of sports? Is this just some dystopian idiocracy movie that we're living through? Is this going to be, I don't know, we'll see.
Graduate at university, it was just after the Sydney Olympics, and, you know, it was always something that inspired me. And I thought to myself, you know, I learned.
Like Mad Max sports we're getting to. The world is turning into Mad Max, and we're doing that with our sports.
Some key statistics.
And then you're going to have men, steroided, enhanced men competing in the women's division.
44% of Olympians admit to using banned performance-enhancing drugs within the last year, according to research commissioned by the World Anti-Doping.
44%.
44%.
And the other, you know, probably lying.
Are losing. Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, and then I learned that the average American Olympian only earns $30,000 a year. And I thought to myself, there's something really wrong in the system. And instead of, you know, trying to reform it, let's take a blank slate of paper and invent the third Olympiad from scratch.
Well, the Olympics is kind of a scam because it generates billions of dollars in revenue, and the people that are there to perform make almost none of that.
That's correct. The International Olympic Committee doesn't pay any of the athletes. Incidentally, they may get some money in sponsorship or from their National Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the billions of dollars in revenue come into the Olympics, and none of that goes to the athletes. It gets wasted building stadiums. It gets wasted paying officials. And we thought there's a way to do a better.
Five years later, an additional 9 kilograms. $25 million prize pool.
Racing the clock. This promotional Greece's Christian Golomev racing the clock. This promotional video released by Enhanced Games shows their athlete beating the world record in the 50 free by 0.02 of a second. A victory fueled by a...
So we're approaching 2 hours. Probably not going to talk about the El Nino stuff that they're talking about. We could talk about that next time. Let's just go to the UFOs. I feel like the UFOs, we try to keep these things under 2 hours for sure. So at least because it's going to be on YouTube. If it was Kick and I had more people in the chat, then I would stay, but 8% identify as groypers. Crazy. Awesome.
Polling agency that does some of the surveys in Florida for James Fishback. This is the Public Sentiment Institute. They reach and mobilize even half, even a quarter of them. And that means we run 2028. That means we run the...
So this is Nick's monologue after he's saying that the report, 7.8%, almost 8% people identify as groypers. I believe it was 3% of those are women, and then 13% of men are groypers. So a higher percentage of men are groypers. And he's saying how groypers have it together for the most part. But see, saying that in the time that comes in the future, which makes sense that they're going to take over, but it's better said.
Primary. We run the presidential election. If 12% of Americans, if we can reach even half of them, if I can reach and mobilize even half, even a quarter of them, how many volunteers is that? This is a country of 350 million people. So that's 175 million men. 10% of that is what? 17 million? If we can mobilize even a fraction of that, how many volunteers, how many voters, how many people would go to a different state or even in their own state to door knock, phone bank, even cast a vote in a primary? Now you understand this is why they have to destroy the Groyper movement in particular. It's not about whether somebody is Israel critical. It's not about whether somebody supports foreign aid or the war in Iran or not. It's about whether they will follow the lead of a particular figure. And you have to understand the distinction. Unorganized, it doesn't matter how many people feel one way or the other, because in the end, they will fall in line behind a particular party or a particular presidential nominee. 80% of Democrats don't support Israel. However, almost certainly the Democratic nominee will. And I will bet you as much money that I have that all those Democrats that don't support Israel, in the final tabulation, they will be voting for the Democratic presidential nominee that does. Take that to the bank. We all know that. And by the way, the same goes for all these wayward Republicans that might be feeling dissatisfied or disillusioned with the Israel lobby.
So Nick's movement is growing. It's good. Good stuff. So another batch of UFO Department of War files released. Let's check out some of the footage. So it says side by side from a 2015 recording in Sequoia and then what was released today. Looks like an angel. And now with AI, I mean, how can you tell, right? There's these clips, they're trending again, and then there's geopolitical chaos. Online, every conspiracy has pretty much turned out to be true. And now they're saying aliens are real, but we don't even believe them now, you know, because it's used as a diversion tactic. And then with AI, how can you even prove anything is real or fake anymore? So The Sequoia sighting. That's the main one. Is that the only one that they released? Is that the main? Oh, I must have clicked on the Sequoia one. Yeah, it's the Sequoia footage, so. And then you had this gentleman with the mask on yesterday. I saw a funny video about that today, but I don't know if I can find it. All right, folks, we're going to call that a stream. So thank you again for joining me. Hit like, subscribe, and then we'll try to stream again tomorrow or maybe later if this war picks back up. So take care. Have a good day. Goodbye.